Back off, sir. You've breached the boundary. The command cut through the stillness of Valor Memorial Cemetery, sharp and authoritative. The tourists clustered near the shrine of the unnamed hero froze in place, their cameras lowered, their whispers silenced. All eyes turned to the sentinel, resplendent in his dress uniform, his rifle snapping to his shoulder with flawless precision. His gaze locked onto the man who had crossed the rope barrier. A biker clad in a black leather jacket, his boots scraping the sacred marble path meant solely for the guard. Before we continue this tale, drop a comment below and tell us where you're tuning in from. We'd love to know. Let's dive in. The biker grinned, sliding his sunglasses up his nose. He seemed entertained, as if the rules here were no different from those at any other monument he'd seen. Chill out, man. I just wanted a better view, he mumbled, his voice carrying through the quieted crowd. But Valor Memorial Cemetery was unlike any other place. Here, silence was required. Here, every step, every moment, was steeped in sacrifice. And the guard, forged in discipline beyond comprehension, would not tolerate disrespect. The sentinel's voice boomed again, louder now, each syllable resounding like a drum. It is requested that all maintain silence and reverence. The words seemed to ripple through the air itself. Children gripped their parents' hands. A woman stifled a gasp. Even the birds overhead hushed, as if the entire cemetery bowed to the command. Yet the biker stood his ground. He let out a low chuckle, shaking his head. All this for a shrine? Nobody even knows who's in there, he said, his tone casual, almost taunting. His words struck the crowd like a shockwave. Gasps spread outward. A veteran's face tightened, his fists balling at his sides. Parents stared in disbelief, shielding their children from such brazen disrespect. The guard's stance remained unshaken. His face was stone, his boots striking the marble in perfect rhythm as he closed the distance to the intruder. His rifle gleamed under the midday sun, and his voice, when it came again, was not a yell but something deeper, steadier, carrying the weight of every soldier who had given their life in silence. The unnamed hero stands for all who gave everything and never returned. You will not dishonor them here. The biker blinked, his confidence faltering under the gravity of those words. For the first time, his smirk faded, his jaw clenched. He had anticipated anger, perhaps even a threat. What he hadn't expected was that calm, unyielding authority, the voice of a man who bore not just his own pride, but the pride of countless fallen heroes. The crowd stayed silent, every breath held, every eye fixed on the standoff. The guard stood motionless except for a slight adjustment to his rifle, his white-gloved hands steady as granite. Beneath the brim of his cap, his eyes burned with an intensity the biker couldn't match. Resolve, discipline, a vow etched into his very soul that the line would never be crossed without consequence. Slowly, the biker's shoulders slumped, his arrogance draining away, replaced by something weightier. He stepped back over the rope, the sound of his boot faint against the marble. His sunglasses slipped from his hand as he muttered something too quiet to catch, but his face told the story. Shame. Then, as the silence hung heavy, something remarkable unfolded. A man in the crowd began to clap. The sound was slow, deliberate, filled with reverence. Another joined, then another. Soon, hundreds of strangers from across the nation and beyond were applauding. It wasn't the applause of a show or spectacle. It was the deep, solemn applause of gratitude, the kind that rises when one witnesses honor in its truest form. The guard did not acknowledge it. His face remained forward, his posture rigid, his steps resuming their precise cadence. For him, this wasn't about correcting a wayward tourist or commanding a crowd. It was about one thing alone: safeguarding the honor of the unnamed hero, the nameless, the countless who never returned. The biker lingered at the crowd's edge, head bowed, hat in hand. His bravado had dissolved into something new: respect. Though he spoke no more, his quiet, still stance said it all. Parents knelt beside their children, quietly explaining why silence matters here, why reverence is non-negotiable. Veterans stood taller, their pride gleaming through their tears. Every person who witnessed the moment left transformed, carrying the echo of one soldier's voice through sacred ground, a reminder of what true reverence means. Because the shrine of the unnamed hero is not merely a monument. It is a vow that no sacrifice, however nameless, will ever be forgotten. And sometimes, It takes a Sentinel's command to remind the world that there are still places where honor stands above all. The lesson was clear. Respect is not optional. At the shrine, silence is not just custom, it is duty. And when someone dares to cross the line, the guard's response will always defend the honor of the fallen. If this story moved you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below.